This is Coffee with God, and I am Father Jose. Let us begin this day with the Word of God and a short reflection.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. John, chapter 20, verses 1 to 2, 11 to 18. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Early in the morning on the first day of the week, while it was still dark, Mary Magdalene came to the tomb and saw that the stone was moved away from the entrance. She ran at once to Simon Peter and the other disciple, the one Jesus loved. Breathlessly, panting, they took the Master from the tomb. We do not know where they've put him. But Mary stood outside the tomb weeping. As she wept, she knelt to look into the tomb and saw two angels sitting there, dressed in white, one at the head and the other at the foot, of where Jesus' body had been laid. They said to her, "Woman, why do you weep?" "They took my Master," she said, "and I don't know where they put him." After she said this, she turned away and saw Jesus standing there, but she didn't recognize him. Jesus spoke to her, "Woman, why do you weep? Who are you looking for?" She, thinking that he was the gardener, said, "Mister, if you took him, tell me where you put him, so I can care for him." Jesus said, "Mary." Turning to face him, she said in Hebrew, "Rabboni," meaning teacher. Jesus said, "Don't cling to me, for I have not yet ascended to the Father. Go to my brothers and tell them, I ascend to my Father and your Father, my God and your God." Mary Magdalene went, telling the news to the disciples. "I saw the Master," and she told them everything he said to her.
Reflections on the Gospel according to St. John chapter 20 verses 1 and 11 to 18. Today the Church celebrates the feast of the first witness to the risen Lord, St. Mary Magdalene. She is the only woman disciple of Jesus named by all the four evangelists. Being present at the crucifixion and at the empty tomb, she was an eyewitness to the mystery, death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. And the Lord chose her to be the first messenger of the resurrection to the other apostles, which earned her the title Apostle of the Apostles. In the Gospel of John, the first words that Jesus speaks is a question. What are you looking for? Essentially, everything that Jesus does and teaches in the rest of John's Gospel gives an answer to that question. We are looking for the way, the truth, the life, the living water to quench our thirst, and the bread from heaven to satiate our hunger. But those answers are partially abstract. At the end of the Gospel, we have this question repeated, and there is the answer. On Easter Sunday morning, Mary Magdalene goes out to the tomb to anoint the body of Jesus. She but finds him walking in a garden, the typical place where lovers meet. But she doesn't recognize him. Jesus turns to her and, repeating the question with which the ministry of Jesus in the Gospel of John began, asks her, "What are you looking for?" Mary replies that she is looking for the body of Jesus who was killed and buried. And Jesus simply calls her by name, Mary. He pronounces her name in love, and she falls at his feet. That is the essence of the whole Gospel. What are we ultimately looking for? The desire and the love that drives us out into the gardens is to hear God pronounce our names in love, to hear God lovingly calling us by name. The following is a poem by renowned theologian Father Ron Rolheiser about the encounter of Mary Magdalene and Jesus in the garden. I never suspected resurrection to be so painful, to leave me weeping, with joy to have met you alive and smiling outside an empty tomb. With regret, not because I have lost you, but because I have lost you in how I had you, in understandable, touchable, kissable, clingable, flesh not as fully Lord, but as graspably human. I want to cling, despite your protest, cling to your body, cling to your and my clingable humanity, cling to what we had, our past. But I know that if I cling, you cannot ascend, and I will be left clinging to your former self, unable to receive your present spirit.